You chased your dream and gave it everything you had, and still it didn't work out. Now you're left wondering who you are, what's next, if you're ever gonna feel purpose again. And I know this feeling all too well because I've lived it for a very long time during my transition from wanting to be a world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and having it not work out. And it took me many years of pain to actually finally formulate this strategy into 5 steps to help you guys actually move forward and start a new journey again. Before we get started, I wanted to quickly share something. During that period of my life where I had that loss of identity, extreme burnout from putting everything into a particular dream and vision that I had and having it not pan out, I was trying to look for a place to go, people to communicate with, somebody who understood that same scenario, but I was hard pressed to find one, and that's why I created this. Click the link down below. It'll send you over to my website where you can sign up to my free newsletter on my Rule of 3 method. And this method was what I used for myself to help me navigate through that process. It took me a very long time, and it's a combination of healing practices, strategies to actually, when you build your next vision, building it with a very strong foundation. And I give all these strategies and tips and secrets completely for free. All you got to do is sign up to the newsletter and know that you're no longer alone, and that I totally understand what you're going through. Maybe not exactly the way you are, of course, but in the context of putting everything into a vision, your whole life into it, and having it just fall apart and trying to put yourself back together again. Let's start with number 1. Take a moment to process and grieve. When you come to that realization that your dreams have just fallen apart, the last thing you want to do is hop into the next one right away. This is because you're going to be in a state of chaos, mental confusion. And the last thing you want to do is just aimlessly grab onto something because you're afraid of that space. But what I urge you to try is to not be somebody for a little while. And I say that because high achievers at their core always want to do more and be more. You want to aim for something constantly, which is great, but not because you're uncomfortable just being a nobody. You want to make sure that you're pursuing something because that's a genuine deep calling. But having that, just the habit of having to move and always having to prove something, that's going to be a problem. And so you want to give yourself a moment to process it. Try to understand what just happened. You're going to put yourself back together a lot better by giving yourself the moment. And by that I mean let go of the title. Let go of you having to be the smart one. Let go of you having to be the successful one, the rich one, the strong one, physically, mentally, whatever it is. Give yourself a moment for a break. Ground yourself a little bit more. Maybe hang out with your family. Maybe hang out with your friends. Go for walks in nature. Give yourself that alone time. Give yourself the moment to sort of just digest what just happened. And oftentimes I find that when you give yourself that breathing space, you're going to really recollect your thoughts and actually start to understand what it is you want to do now and how is it that you're going to go about it. Number 2, remind yourself that even though it didn't work out, you became better. If you're an individual who always wants to achieve more, it's almost impossible, it feels like, to actually sit down and reflect on how far you actually came. It's easy to just throw everything you did to nothing and as a waste because you didn't get that final result that you wanted. But you're doing a huge disservice. You're just beating yourself for nothing. And so it's important to just take that moment and think about where you were once before you started this journey towards a goal you had in mind. And then just track what happened throughout that time. And I guarantee you're going to look at yourself and say, man, there was a lot I acquired, which is going to be the foundation for the next thing. That's what's going to be the new structure, the new ideas. You're going to know what not to do, what to do. You're going to be more effective at it. And so give yourself that opportunity to reward yourself for everything you've done during that time. If you're also wanting more information regarding strategies and tactics to actually get yourself back in order with a plan to move forward in a consistent way and in a way that's not going to burn you out this time, just go ahead and click that link and join the community and be a part of that free newsletter with the Rule of 3 guide. It goes over everything you're going to need to know to actually rebuild yourself. Number 3, align your new purpose with a better why. This time around, let's really reevaluate why you're going to go in this direction now. I say that because oftentimes the reasons why we go into particular directions is for motives that may have been very good fuel at first and it serves its purpose, but it doesn't factor in the long term. And then you're going to get to a point of heavy burnout, resentment, frustration, fatigue, everything. And to be more specific, if you've gone into something for the pursuit of proving other people wrong about who you are, and you are worthy of their affection, and so you enter a field that maybe, you like it, but you think to yourself, well, this is going to get me that result faster, or it's going to make it bigger. What's going to happen is it might serve you at first, but it will leave you empty. You're going to get to a point, maybe years down the line, you're just thinking to yourself, I am burnt out to my core spiritually. Maybe not physically, maybe not mentally, but your spirit will be absolutely done and say, I can't carry this anymore. So having an effective why and a more aligned why is going to make it so that it'll keep you steady year after year after year, and then the transitions can be smoother. A good place to start is think about removing pain that other people are feeling that is similar to the pain that you've gone through, and maybe you've made a lot of ground in. Maybe you even overcame it. And that could be through a service, could be through a product, it could be through a job, a particular job, anything. Where can you absolve people of pain? Either removing it, softening it, by an experience you had that you can really connect with right away. Number 4, start small before you go all in. On your next attempt at your big dream, let's say you kind of formulate an idea of your why and you feel pretty good about it. It's still important to just dip your toe into it. Start building up on the foundations for this new vision, whatever that may look like to you. Would you want to do this for the next 3 to 5 years? Do you want to commit yourself to this new direction, whether it's business, job, career, whatever it is? Is it something you're going to want to sustain? I always use this reference for myself and also for my clients. I always say, does it bring you light when you participate in it, when you work on it, when you think about it? Does it fill you with good energy to want to share it? And especially if it puts you in a charitable state that you just want to give it away. Those are really, really, really good metrics to say to yourself, you know what, I've been doing this now for a couple months, 6 months. I feel good every time I do it. Maybe then that's the appropriate time to go all in for it. Finally, number 5, focus on effort over outcome to avoid outcome fixation. If you take anything from this video, take this. Focus on the process of what you're doing. Find joy in the process of what you're doing, rather than staying fixated on the outcome of what you want right now. It'll create impatience. It'll make you rush. It'll taint the very reason why you're trying to start this new adventure in a better way. You want it to come from a place of purity, a place of charitable action, a place of you feel like anytime you work on this subject, job, career, business, it fills you with light that you want to share. And so focus on that. Stay attuned to that energy and stay consistent with it day after day. And then the outcome will show. That doesn't mean you can't think about the outcome. That doesn't mean you can't think about what you want your life to look like. You can structure it, and it's all part of the rule through method. You can do it, but to be focused on it wholeheartedly all the time will affect you. It is not a healthy way. You don't want to just live in the future. The same way you don't want to just always live now. And I know it's a very pushed philosophy, but you have to think about your future as well. You have to think about where you're going and what you want your life to look like. You need to have an idea. But striking that balance between understanding your vision now, this new vision built on a good foundation, and then saying, well, let's build it brick by brick. Be steady, be consistent, find the balance between motivation and discipline. This way you can take all the lessons learned from your previous venture, your previous journey, and taking it into the new. I really hope this helps you, and if you're an individual who has pushed for a goal and has fallen short, and now you're suffering with an identity loss, identity crisis, burnout to the core, go ahead and join the community down below. Click the link, sign up to that free newsletter. It's a place that I wish that I had when I was during that phase of my life, and now I'm so excited to share with you guys. So if this speaks to you, if this is resonating with you, go ahead and click that link, sign up to that free newsletter, and let me send you all the free information I have on the Rule 3 method.